Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and this is Wednesday, which means you're watching Social Justice Wednesdays, in which I go behind enemy minds and try to be them and figure out how they get on these crazy thought processes they get on. So, just a trigger warning for all you out there. Some of you may find today's topic to be a little too soon, perhaps, or a little too real. But here we go. So, you guys might have heard about the latest drama surrounding one Andy Signore, formerly of Honest Trailers. He was like a big YouTube guy, and then he just like fucked up majorly, and Me Too took his ass down. And so lately, he's making a little comeback, being all like, the bitch lied. I never tried to force myself on her. This was all consensual. Here, I have the text to prove it. Look at these messages that were totally sent between us to prove it. And now we're all supposed to be like, yep, he's fine. Let him back into the world. Just trust him. Just believe him. Well, what happened? What happened to believing women, okay? Because that's like really important, okay? Believe women. That's like an important part of equality, is always believing women, especially over men, especially over white men, especially over straight white men. So like, I don't care if his media company settled with him. I don't care if he has the text messages to prove the relationship was consensual. She still stands by what she said, okay? She still says that she did nothing wrong and that everything she said was true, and you should believe her because she's a woman. And not to do that would be just like totally sexist. All right, I'm like really triggered. Like, honestly, I can't even look at this Andy guy without like just getting really upset and like feeling personally attacked. Like, I feel personally attacked when I see him, so it's like really upsetting for women everywhere, like women who've really gone through some serious trauma and shit, to have to like see his face back on YouTube. Like, it's really hard. Like, it's not fair. We shouldn't have to be faced with that, right? Because that's the thing. Like, let's say, okay, let's just pretend for like 1 minute that maybe he's not guilty, which is like, haha, yeah, right. Let's pretend for 1 second that he's exactly as he represents himself and didn't do all the horrible things that she said he did, like, which is like as if, once again, believe women. But we're just going on a theoretical here, okay? So like, don't get mad because I'm not saying it happened, because it didn't, because he's like obviously guilty, all right? But theoretically, all right, let's say he didn't do it. He still represents the bad, the evils, like the reason we needed a Me Too movement. Like, he still represents the straight white male, and like even thinking about what he was accused of is like really triggering for some people who've been through like serious trauma. Okay, so you can't just let him come back and like have a normal life and just have people just have his face everywhere without like he should have a trigger warning for his face. Because it's like really, it's just gonna bring up some things for people. Like, anyone else who's ever been in a situation that wasn't consensual, anytime they see his face or hear his name, is like probably gonna get triggered and like might have a serious panic attack, because like PTSD is real, guys. It affects like almost all of us because we've all had trauma, all right? And it's like real, like we're all suffering from it, okay? Like all of us, like I have PTSD from like reading that Andy Signore is coming back. Like, I have totally a PTSD from that now. Like, it's a real trauma in my life, okay? All right? So, you shouldn't just be allowed to just come back. And this reality is, okay, if he's not guilty of this, he's still, as we've said, a straight white man, which makes him automatically guilty. So it's like, all right, maybe he didn't do the things she said he did. Does that mean he's just a good guy and we should just forgive him and let him move on? I was like, no. Like, all right, I get it. We should probably try to punish people for the crimes they actually commit. But the reality is I'm sure as a straight white man, there are plenty of crimes. There's plenty of sexism. There's plenty of contributing to the patriarchy and contributing to white supremacy that he's just doing all day long with his straight white maleness. That he's not being held accounted for. So just think of it that way. Like, all the crap he went through, it's not about this one incident. That incident was just the catalyst to punish him for a lifetime of misdeeds, being the pretty much the most evil thing you could be on the earth. Does anyone know if he's Christian? Because if he's Christian, like, oh my God, like I might just start crying. Like, that's really hard. I need a safe space. Anyway. So like that, and in addition, let's talk about the fact that he totally copped to cheating on his wife. He copped to cheating on her. That's a breach of her trust. That's like totally sexist. And he wanted to just hit on his fans. It's such an abuse of power. like that should be considered rape anyway. Because like, if you think about it, his fans really aren't in a position, like this was a fan. So like whether she says it or not, this is still kind of rape. Because if you're in a power position over somebody else, they can't just give you consent. Like they're not responsible for their actions or their choices because you have all this power and you have all this stuff that society gives you for just being a straight white man, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair for you to just wield that power. So like anytime, especially if you're in a position of power over a woman and maybe afterwards she realizes it was a mistake and she shouldn't have done it, and like she jeopardized her whole relationship because you came on to her or let her come on to you and didn't shut that shit down. Like you're responsible for that, Andy. Like that's on you, dude. Like you being the person that society's given all the power to are 100% responsible for taking care of everybody else's emotions and everyone else's life and everyone else's choices. Because that's the thing, is like we just don't have the agency that you do because society doesn't give it to us, okay? It's not that I like it that way. It's not that I want to give up my power. Society doesn't give me the agency that I want. So I can't be held accountable for these kinds of decisions, especially when like society deprives it from me. And like if I'm in a situation with someone like that who has like a bigger influence and a bigger amount of power, like this woman cannot be held accountable for those choices. If she realized later it was a mistake, then yeah, like it's 100% on him. It's 100% on his shoulders to make that right. And like we said, he cheated on his wife. Only dirtbags do that. Only dirtbags. Like no decent man has ever cheated on a woman ever. But that's like oxymoron, because like what man is actually decent? Ha ha ha. So like just for that alone, I mean like I think that men who cheat on their wives should probably just get the death penalty. Because like honestly, I'm really against killing and stuff like that. But I mean, straight white men are like barely human anyway, because they're just the problem, and we have so many of them, and they have all the power anyway. So like, who's gonna miss a few of them? Huh? And like that's betraying a woman's trust is one of the shittiest things that you can do, because that's like the thing. Society puts us in a position where like if we get married to you, like we're forced to rely on you, because that's how society sees us, is as less than the men. Like it's not right, like it's not accurate, right? But it's just what society does, okay? And we can't change that. That's what we're trying to change. But the second you get married to a straight white man, then you're contributing to the problem. So like kind of is a little bit her fault for like marrying a straight white man in the first place. But at the same time, like she's still a woman, and you can't just do things like that to women. Like men who cheat should probably just be put to death. And I don't really see a problem with that statement. I think if you have a problem with that statement, you're probably sexist. You're probably part of the patriarchy. And therefore part of the problem. And therefore like you don't get a say. Like that's the whole thing. Like Andy doesn't get a say anyway. So it's like, why is anyone watching his videos where he's like apologizing and stuff? Why is anybody watching like Jeremy from the Quarter? Like that's just another straight white man. Like why are people watching their videos and giving them any stock over the woman who's saying things? Because like you lose the right to weigh in on anything, any kinds of these issues by being a man, because you created all of the problems. So like your voice doesn't count. Anyone sticking up for you, Andy, doesn't count. The only thing that counts is this woman. Find me a woman who's sticking up for Andy. Find me a woman who thinks that he's not guilty. And then like they're probably part of the patriarchy anyway. Like if you find anyone, if you're like, oh, this woman, like she's probably just been brainwashed by the patriarchy. She probably has a nice little house as a stay-at-home mom with like 3 to 4 kids with like her husband, and she's totally oppressed and doesn't even realize it. She's gonna stick up for people like that. It's like Stockholm syndrome. It's like really, really sad. All right, so don't find me a woman who supports me, because like those women are just really depressing, and like it hurts me to see them. And I can't even really acknowledge them as women anymore, because they're just like not living their best lives, and it's really difficult. So anyway, that's just all I'm saying, is that like I don't care what he did or didn't do. Andy is guilty, and like we shouldn't watch his channel. We shouldn't like give any money or any views or any attention or anything. It's just really triggering and upsetting. Yeah. So that's your Social Justice Wednesday for today. Like I said, I apologize if it's a little too real or a little too soon, but that's me. Welcome to my channel, where we just say shit and don't care if it's politically correct or acceptable or whatever. And by the way, do I need to add that this is satire? That I don't believe any of the things I just said, because sometimes I feel the need to say that, because every week you get people being like, this bitch is crazy, why is she saying these things? Because you're an idiot is why. Because you're an idiot. If you think anything I just said, I believe any of it. Anyway, I have some feelings. I'm sorry, I'm just working them out. Didn't mean to work them out in your face. But that's what you come here for, right? You come here for me to yell at you, so there you go. Anyway, that's it. That's what we're covering today on Social Justice Wednesday. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and press that like button, because fuck social justice. I mean, not fuck, that's terrible. It's like, this is the world we live in. We're like, fuck social justice. Like, social justice is fine. Like, legitimate social justice is fine. Social justice warriors, they can die in a dumpster fire for all I care. Anyway, press the like button. because we believe in oppression on this channel. Make sure you click all the links. There's one for Jesse Shot First with original artwork by that Star Wars girl. It's an awesome t-shirt you should definitely pick up. There's one for LA Cheesesteak Reviews, my awesome new show. Trying to work out the kinks on that one. We're trying to get new episodes out as often as possible. So definitely take a look at that. There's also the Get Involved with Me, which will tell you links for my Patreon, links for my Teespring, so get to see all my other designs, for PayPal. All of these monetary contributions help a lot because YouTube really loves demonetizing my videos because I don't sugarcoat things or censor things. And all of these things will also help to go to support my 2 adorable new kittens who you can see on my live streams all the time now. So definitely click those links, do those things. You can follow me on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, on Instagram at Mindless Entertainment. You can also follow my cats now at Milestone Cats. So they have their own Instagram page now that there are 4 of them. So do all those things. You guys are awesome. I love you all. God Empress out.